Hey guys, what's up? What if I told you it's possible to have your JavaScript application run faster and with a better quality than you usually develop? Actually, it's possible with RequireJS. It is a modular script loader that will improve the speed and boost the quality of your web application. Meaning by that, it allows you to develop all your application in modules that can be called and actually load some libraries that will only be used when you want to use it, so that you don't need to worry about how to call this and that or how to reference anything when it comes to the cluster of dealing with script everywhere. So to do that, I would just invite you to go to Google. Once you're there, go ahead and enter download RequireJS inside your browser. Once it's done, it will open a tab in here, and make sure you scroll to the bottom on the minify version and click on it. Once you click on it, it will show you this file, and it is delivered with the CDN content delivery network. Get this one in here, and all you need to do is save as. Once you save as, make sure you save inside the project that is simply this one in here, RequireJS file on the section 2. I have mine in here, RequireJS. Make sure you have it and drag the whole thing inside your editor in here. Okay, so once you have it, I'll explain something real quick. What you need to do is create a structured tree to be able to actually use it properly and with the best optimization possible. Imagine this is your project structure. You have your libraries. Your library is all that is actually linked to the vendor, things that you didn't develop yourself but you want to include inside your project. In our case, we only have RequireJS for now, but you can add things like jQuery or any other canvas, whatever you want to add inside. You have this folder that is called the app folder. This is where you include the logic of your application, and the main.js is generally what is the entry point. The goal here is to have only one entry point when you're developing your web application, so that you have everything centralized and you actually need to have just a glance to see what is included inside your project. Then you have the app loader in here. The app loader will just use RequireJS in order to load all the resources and indicate the path to get to all of these folders. Now that is done, we will try to recreate the same structure. So I'll open my editor in here, and I'm just gonna add a new folder by right-clicking on it and clicking on add new folder. Once I have it, I'll create the folder app. Great, I have the folder app. Then I'll add the folder library. That is just a lib. Awesome, I have it. So my basic structure is done. What I'll do after that is I'm just gonna populate this one. So the RequireJS in here, you should just jump straight into the library folder in here. So what I will do is simple. I'm just gonna save it inside my section 2 in here, and I'll put it inside the lib folder, and I'll save it in here. And I have my RequireJS here, and here I can just delete this one. Perfect. That's awesome. What I will do now, I will try to create the entry point of my web application. In here, I'm just going to add an index file. The index file is just the one that will allow us to display the project. So to do that, I'm just going to add, first of all, a syntax here. Make sure mine is in HTML. Then I'll add a basic structure in here. The basic structure of the HTML will just allow me to be able to input and enter the RequireJS file. So I'm just going to add a script in here. Then I'm going to add the source. Where am I? Where is my RequireJS? And I say, okay, it's in lib and RequireJS. Awesome. The second thing I'll add is the entry point of my application. I don't have one now, but I'll add it and then create it later on. I have data, main. Then I'm saying, okay, it's just gonna be under apps.js. This is the entry point of my application. To illustrate this script will be looking for an entry point, but with the attribute data main. Let's create this entry point together. I'm in here on the second tab. I'll create the app.js. That is the entry point for all the script. So all I need to do is I'll add configure. This is a JavaScript command, configure RequireJS, because that's what I'm about to do now. And I'll change the syntax for JavaScript. RequireJS will require this. RequireJS.config in order to be able to configure how the path of your application are. In this case, I'm just going to say, okay, my base URL will be lib. So everything that is in lib should be loaded automatically. Then on top of that, I have a couple of paths I want to include. I say, okay, the path I will call app, you recall from the app folder here, load also those resources. And I'm indicating like that because I have to go by one directory because the base URL, the base folder is in library. So I need to go up to the parent, then just choose the app so that RequireJS will know how to load it. Then the next thing I need to do is I need to call just RequireJS and load the resource that is in app/main. The main is the entry point of the project. Awesome. Once we have it, it is configured. I need to do is save it. And where do I save it? I save it straight onto the root of my application in here. Because from my index, I said it is on the same level inside the application, app.js. So I save this one as an index as well. Awesome. Okay. Once we have it, we realize how simple it is to set up a proper entry point for a web application configured with RequireJS. In the upcoming lesson, I'll show you how to use it in order to be able to load modules. So next thing, we're gonna create modules and load them inside your web application with JavaScript and RequireJS.